Hello. It is Monday, March 31st. Tomorrow is April. I had a productive weekend. That was also pretty uneventful. I don't get why I'm so sleepy. I feel like I've slept well enough. On weekends, I let myself sleep in so that I can make up for any sleep debt. But it's not working. It's only 8:22. I don't know. I've been sitting here playing games on my phone though, instead of doing any of the other stuff that I was gonna do. I finished an article for LinkedIn and published it the other day, but I'm not real. I mean, it's just okay. It's not. I don't even like it that much, but I published it so, to share things, kind of like these videos. I publish them no matter whether I think they're good or not, or would be interesting or not, because if I don't, then I'd never share anything. I've gone years not sharing things because it's not good, or it could be a lot better, or whatever. And so I never shared anything, unless it was a school assignment or I had to for work or something. The goal is to publish a new article on LinkedIn once a month, and do a video once a week, and an Instagram post once a week. But I don't have that capacity. I don't have that much time and energy to come up with a post every 3 times a day, I think is what they want you to do. No, I don't think so. I don't want to give it up. And I enjoy doing that once a week. That's as much as I want to post, so that's all I'm going to post, unless there's some special something happening. As a matter of fact, I went months without posting last year. I didn't really post much at all on Instagram, so I'm trying to build it all back up. One thing that's supposed to happen this week, I'm supposed to be getting new plants. So I brought some items in from my balcony. I guess I'm going to just have to clean this out and I'll get something else to replace it. This is so rusted and everything. I don't know if I want to keep it. I mean, there's some charm in rust, right? Got my shoes. Only thing with my plant deal, and I also brought in the lights. I don't know what I'm going to do with the lights. I don't really sit out. I think I've talked about this before. I don't really sit out on the balcony much, and so I haven't been using it. So maybe I'll figure out something for when I move. I have a spreadsheet going on the apartment choices that are happening. They're available right now, and then I might want to look at, just kind of gauge where I could go. I want to get a place by August. So the story I wrote about on LinkedIn was about relating to George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life. That Christmas movie that used to be on all the time every Christmas on every channel back in the, what was it, in the 80s and 90s. I wrote about not letting yourself settle. You know, George Bailey was, you know, he had these big dreams and everything. He was going to leave Bedford Falls. He was going to go to college, be an architect, travel the world, and just kind of see what happens. And he never did that, at least over the course of the movie, right? Things always happened, and he chose his family and the people he cared about over, you know, his dreams. And one of the things in my article I probably should have emphasized was that, you know, there's nothing wrong with taking care of loved ones, your family. You know, in his case, it was his family, the family business, and also his friends and family of Bedford Falls. He did care about everyone, and he wanted people to live their best lives. And he was living a good life. It wasn't a bad life. It was a wonderful life. But it wasn't what he originally wanted. And he still, you know, those dreams he'd had since he was a kid of traveling and, you know, his architect stuff was on a table in the living room. And so his dreams were still alive. They were still there, but he went from talking about those dreams all the time to never mentioning them. He had kids to take care of. You know, he was married now. He was all settled in as a bank manager in town, even though he never really wanted to be a bank manager. But it was the thing he was doing. And it had a cause. There was a cause and a need for him to be a bank manager in Bedford Falls. And, you know, I wrote in there that George probably made more of a difference in Bedford Falls, a more important and major difference in Bedford Falls than he ever would have going out into the world. I mean, he could have made a difference in something, but maybe not as big of an impact. You know, the impact on that town that he had, with people being able to, you know, live in nice homes and build this, you know, beautiful community that isn't all hopeless and down on its luck and having to pay all their rent and back rent and everything to Potter. It was no small feat, not to mention saving his younger brother's life and all the things where he made a difference. But the end of the story implies, you know, with his brother saying to George Bailey, the richest man in town, you know, because everybody chipped in to help him out of trouble, because he'd helped them all so much. Even Sam Wainwright, right? He gave him the ideas for the what was it? Some kind of manufacturing deal, plastics and something. I can't remember. Sam was a millionaire, right? So Sam wired him some money, and so his brother says to George Bailey, the richest man in town, and that implies that now George is going to, you know, be able to afford, you know, a better house, or at least really fix up this house that they're already in, and be able to travel and maybe not have to be a bank manager anymore, maybe give it to somebody else. You know, it can still be in the family, but he doesn't have to actually be the bank manager. I mean, that's what it implies to me. In real life, we can't wait around and let life be something that happens to us. You know, settling puts you in a bad spot, right? It put George in a bad spot when something really bad happened. He was just he was in a dark place. My argument in this is that fine, do what you need to do, but don't let go of it. Don't let go of the dream. Still do little things, take little steps, you know, to include that dream in your life. Put back money, invest money, learn what you can about architecture on your own. I don't know. Take a class, you know, even if it's 1 or 2 classes at a time to get your architecture degree. Or, you know, do something related. Learn drafting. You want to spend less time being a bank manager and more time traveling, more time designing bridges or whatever it is, right? Work toward those things. And yes, okay, you're married, you have Zuzu, who is sick, and you have at least a little girl playing a piano, a little boy, another little boy. I think you have at least 4 kids. But George at least had that table where he had his bridges and buildings, you know, as part of his dream to travel and do architecture. I think there were models or something, you know. He still would, you know, he didn't talk about it, and maybe he didn't spend a lot of time on it either. But that's where I say he made a mistake in just settling and not doing anything, not talking about his dreams, not spending time on it, not giving himself any hopes of ever getting to do anything. I feel like I waste a lot of time because I feel tired, or I don't really feel like writing, or, you know, it's like the article, I feel like, I don't know, I just wasn't really connecting with it. And so, but like I said, I'm gonna go back and add some more thoughts to it. I haven't really been in it the last several months, and so things like that can happen, right? Mess up your whole vibe. All I can say is to keep pushing through. That's all I know to do at this point. I still want to lose weight. I'm pushing through. And 15 minutes have passed since I last said I was going to go do some other things. So I'm going to go do some other things.